This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Where we want to educate you about our market, empower you to make wise decisions, and help you engage with our expert contributors. We have Ben Grove is here. Ben Grove, Ben, welcome.
Thanks, Harvey. Great to be here.
Glad to have you back. Ben's with Spectrum Inspections. One of the things that the report does is it gives the home buyer a list of elements or a list of items that may not be right, that need some attention. And that list is not always designated to be a full-out repair list for the seller, but more or less a warning list to the buyer. Here's the issues you're going to need to address and or ask the seller to address.
First and foremost, we need to identify defects within the home. That's the most important thing. And then beyond that, we do go into explanations about some maintenance items, and all this stuff goes in the summary. So when you look at a Spectrum Inspection report, you have the body of the report, and everything's arranged section by section throughout the house with a whole bunch of informational pictures, and those are important for some other reasons we'll talk about.
Right.
But then everything we identify as a repair item, even a maintenance item, further consideration items for further evaluation, we put all of those things right in a summary at the front. That's really important because that way you, and especially your agent who wants to pay special attention to those items, you can see those items right at the front of the report.
Are you seeing a trend with buyers maybe in recent years? I've seen a lot of buyers really don't want to have to do anything to the house.
Yeah, that has been the case. People are really looking for turnkey houses that they're ready to get into, but right now it's really hard to find the house that you want at the price that you want.
Right.
That's a tough one. So we have a lot of clients who are willing to make concessions, either on the price, which we don't deal with, of course, but and it's worth mentioning that nothing we represent in writing or verbally to a buyer is a recommendation to buy or not buy a house.
Right.
We're just putting all this information out there so that you as the buyer can make an informed decision. That calculus is different. But definitely we have buyers that are willing to make some concessions on the condition of the house. So maybe they'll have to fix some paint, some carpeting, a couple bathroom faucets, but they really need to know, is there any major problems with the house, any defective plumbing or water damage or anything like that I need to be aware of? Especially, I believe, if it's maintenance, cosmetic type things like paint and flooring. Those are kind of the two big ones. Maybe some landscaping, things like that, things that really raise the aesthetic value of the property but are not going to cost you that much in time, labor, and things that you can even do yourself, which is cool.
Wouldn't you rather have a home that needs some things that you can make your own? In other words, flooring. So say it has carpet, but you want wood. Okay, now I can pick the wood. I get to pick the wood I want as opposed to the wood that they chose. Or I can pick the color paint on the wall that I want as opposed to what the seller chose. So I'm just going to tell you that sometimes you got to think about that value you might get in some of those items that you can do, that you can control and change those surfaces. The other thing about Spectrum is that I highly recommend, and any inspector, that the buyer go to the inspection. Be there. Let the inspector go through the process and show you and point out those things that may need some attention.
We strongly encourage that. Not every inspection company inspector do, but we strongly encourage that. For one reason, we'll have a buyer come to the inspection and they'll say, I've been out, I've looked at 20 houses, I've been each of them in 5 minutes apiece. I can't remember the house that I just bought. So now you could come in, you can spend some time, you can spend an hour or two in the house and get the vibe and take some measurements and look around, and then at the conclusion we can look at anything that we need to and discuss findings, and you'll have a much better understanding when you leave, and when you do see the report, it's going to make more sense to you than otherwise would.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld. Thanks for listening, and remember to tune in every Tuesday at 9 a.m. right here on AM 720 KDWN.